Hello, you're watching DD India and I'm Preeti presenting Express News. First, the national headlines. Earth Day is marked across the globe on April 22nd to support environmental conservation efforts. Celebrated annually, this significant day engages around 1 billion people worldwide in activities that address the climate crisis and encourage behavioral changes to preserve the environment. This year, the theme of the Earth Day 2024 is Planet versus Plastics, which calls to advocate for widespread awareness on the health risk of plastics, rapidly phasing out all the single-use plastics. Celebrating Earth Day, search engine Google used breathtaking aerial views to showcase Earth's natural wonders and rich biodiversity. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reaffirmed commitment to nurture nature to ensure a better future for our planet. India's Minister for Health and Family Welfare, Mansukh Mandavia, participated in a cycle rally in Porbandar in Gujarat to mark the occasion of 54th World Earth Day. On the Earth Day, UN Chief Antonio Guterres said it was important to stand united for the planet, urging everyone to mobilize all efforts for climate action. President of India Draupadi Murmu presented Padma Awards at the Civil Investiture Ceremony 1 at Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi today. President Draupadi Murmu conferred Padma Vibhushan to former Vice President of India M. Venkaiah Naidu in the field of public affairs. President Murmu conferred Padma Bhushan upon singer Usha Uthup and actor Mithun Chakrabarti in the field of arts. Campaigning for second phase of elections is gaining momentum. Senior BJP leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed a public meeting in Uttar Pradesh's Aligarh. In order to garner support for their respective parties, leaders across the nation held public rallies and roadshows. Senior BJP leader and Union Home Minister Amit Shah held a rally in Chhattisgarh's Kanker. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge addressed a public rally in Channapatna, Bengaluru. As the election campaign for the second phase enters its final stretch, BSP Chief Mayawati held a rally in Uttar Pradesh's Bulandshahr. Addressing a public meeting, Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh Yogi Adityanath said that Agra is consuming Ganga Jal and Har Ghar Nal scheme is being implemented. Election campaign for the second phase of general election has intensified in Karnataka. Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka D.K. Shivakumar said all the allegations are false. Today is the last date for withdrawal of candidature in Phase 3 general elections. 94 parliamentary constituencies spread across 12 states and union territories will go to polls in this phase on May 7th. In Manipur, re-polling is being conducted at 11 polling booths of the Inner Manipur parliamentary constituency after Election Commission of India declared polls held at these stations as null and void after incidents of violence. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh on Monday visited Army Siachen base camp in the eastern Karakoram range in the Himalayas. He laid a wreath at the War Memorial and paid tributes to the brave hearts. Defence Minister also interacted with the armed forces deployed in the Kumar post of Siachen Glacier in Ladakh. Let's talk of business updates now. The Indian markets ended in green on Monday. Sensex climbed 560.29 points to settle at 73,648.62. Nifty was up by 189.4 points to settle at 22,336.4. Indian rupee rose 7 paise to settle at 83.37 against the US dollar. Gold future maturing on 5th of June stood at 71,918 rupees per 10 grams on Multi-Commodity Exchange of India Limited. Silver futures maturing on 3rd of May stood at 81,940 rupees per kg. Asian stocks recovered some losses on Monday and saw a rise in bond yields as fears of a wider West Asia conflict subsided. MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares rose 0.93%, while Japan's Nikkei added 0.48%, underperforming the rest of the region due to high concentration of cheap chip sector shares. U.S. stock index futures gained on Monday after slumping in the previous session, while investors looked ahead for an action-packed week with major tech earnings and a key inflation print. Oil prices fell more than 1% on Monday as markets focused on fundamentals amid Israel-Iran conflict. Russia has warned Pakistan that it would ban rice imports again if their phytosanitary concerns are not addressed in future consignments after a quarantine organism was detected in the rice consignment. In international updates, in Maldives, People's National Congress won 66 of the first 86 seats declared, according to the Election Commission of Maldives. The U.S. and the Philippines kicked off their annual military drills on Monday, with over 17,000 troops participating in the training exercise. France and Australia will join the maritime exercises to be conducted for the first time outside Philippine territorial waters. North Korea fired several ballistic missiles on Monday towards the sea off its east coast, according to the South Korean and Japanese government. South Korean military condemned the launch and gave it a grave threat to the stability on the Korean peninsula. Japan also said that launch of such ballistic missiles violate related Security Council resolutions. Foreign ministers of the European Union are set to meet on Monday in Luxembourg to discuss Ukraine's air defense and sanctions on Iran. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has welcomed the U.S. aid bill for his country and urged for its speedy passage in the Senate. On Sunday, he called for efforts to reduce the time between political decisions to provide military aid to Ukraine and enabling the country's soldiers. Welcoming the passage of Ukraine aid package by the House of Representatives, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz hoped that the U.S. Senate too will reach a decision on the aid soon. Russia's defense ministry said that its forces have taken control of the settlement of Bohdanivka in Ukraine's eastern Donetsk region, though Ukraine's defense ministry denied that Russia had captured all of Bohdanivka. In more international updates, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to reject and fight against any sanctions on the country's military for alleged rights violations after media reports said that Washington was planning such a step. The head of Israeli military intelligence, Major General Aharon Haliva, has resigned and will leave once a successor is appointed. Opening arguments have started at New York trial of Donald Trump, the first criminal case ever brought against a former U.S. president. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak said on Monday that first flight carrying asylum seekers to Rwanda would leave in 10 to 12 weeks as he set out plans for his flagship policy to tackle illegal migration. In Niger, hundreds marched through the northern city of Agadez on Sunday to demand the departure of U.S. troops from the military base there. This comes a day after reports said an agreement had been reached between Niamey and Washington to commence the withdrawal. Ecuador's President Daniel Noboa has won significant voter support for a raft of security measures he says will help him fight sharply increased crime. A bipartisan majority of the U.S. House of Representatives voted in favor of a bill that could effectively ban the TikTok app in the United States. The bill imposing the new limits on TikTok was the first of the four to pass. One crew member has been confirmed dead after two Japanese military helicopters crashed late on Saturday, Japanese Defense Minister Minoru Kihara said. 7 other self-defense force members remain unaccounted for after the two SH-60K patrol helicopters lost contact east of Torishima, part of Japan's Izu Island chain. A scorching heat wave has swept through parts of India with maximum temperatures reaching between 40 and 46 degrees Celsius in various areas. Cleanup operations were underway after unseasonably heavy rain caused rivers to overflow, triggering landslides in Shaoguan city in China's flood-ravaged Guangdong province. Rescue and emergency workers were seen clearing mud from flooded areas using excavators. Unusually heavy, sustained and widespread rain is being observed since Thursday. The southern Chinese city of Qingyuan showed the extent of the flooding in more drone footage. Locals are worried about more serious disasters in the future. Europe is increasingly facing bouts of heat so intense that the human body cannot cope as climate change continues to raise temperatures. In a report on Europe's climate, Copernicus and the WMO noted that last year's extreme conditions, including a July heat wave, pushed 41% of southern Europe into strong, very strong or extreme heat stress. Deaths related to heat have increased by around 30% in Europe in the last 20 years, the report said. A new desalination plant in Iraq's Qasr, Basra's governorate, aims to fight water scarcity for residents and agriculture. The facility, which will be fully operational in June, can produce 1,000 cubic meters of clean water using groundwater. Cherry blossoms delighted Toronto residents and visitors with footage showing visitors taking photographs and walking in High Park, home to thousands of cherry blossom trees. Like their famous counterparts in Washington, D.C., the cherry blossom trees were a gift from Japan to the city of Toronto. In 1959, the Japanese government shipped 2,000 trees to Toronto. Farmers in Morocco breathe a sigh of relief following the recent rainfall, upon which they rely to achieve good returns in autumn and spring. After successive years of drought and their repercussions on the level of water resources, agriculture has experienced a decline in the productivity of agricultural seasons. The first ever Hindi radio broadcast has started in Kuwait. The Indian Embassy in Kuwait lauded Kuwait's Ministry of Information for starting a Hindi program on Kuwait radio. Hong Kong's ban on single-use plastic takes effect from today, marking the Earth Day. Hong Kong will launch the first phase that prohibits the sale and distribution of single-use plastic. The second phase, starting in 2025, will ban single-use plastic cups and boxes for takeaway services. Thailand's scuba diving groups and marine organizations are working to remove the ghost gear, but say that tracking its scale is problematic. Lost or discarded fishing equipment is considered one of the deadliest forms of marine plastic waste. About 1 million tons of ghost gear ends up in the ocean each year. Several Chilean organizations are trying to give a new life to discarded clothing in the Atacama Desert through projects that aim to give the planet a break. In projects like the one managed in Santiago, clothes rescued from the desert are transformed into tote bags decorated by some of the 3,700 vulnerable children and adolescents assisted by humanitarian agency. Joyful singing echoed through verdant hills as residents of a small village in Western Democratic Republic of Congo emerged from an underground cave, greeted by raucous applause. At the head of the procession, a man carried a long-lost statue of a colonial oppressor, whose return has fueled the local artists' collective efforts to reclaim both the area's stolen culture and its depleted forests. Rogelio Lopez is an Argentine bus driver who takes his job so seriously that he performs it with humor. He has become a sensation among Argentines in Buenos Aires for his cheerful and inspiring personality. To him, his job does not consist only of driving, but serving families and moving goals, lives and dreams along Route 152. There are few films as famous and as sinister as the Hitchcock's The Birds, and few instruments as little known as trotonium, which provided the chilling sounds. The electronic synthesizer was invented in 1930 by German Friedrich Totwin and Paul Hindemith, then joined by Oscar Sala, who continued to work with the noise generator until his death in 2002 after passing the baton to Munich musician Peter Pickler. The French Film Week is showcasing 30 French movies at cinemas across Beijing till April 26. Jointly sponsored by the China Media Group and the Beijing Municipal People's Government, the French Film Week aims to bolster cultural communication between China and France. Farmers in an area near Tokyo have started to pick this year's crop of tea leaves. The specialty of the city of Sayama is green tea. The farm is expecting a normal-size harvest this year due to continuing warm weather this month. High heels, colorful wigs and dresses in tow, drag racers revved up for a unique race in Florida's Key West. People gathered around the race to cheer and applaud their local drag racers. The race was part of Key West's 42nd annual Conch Republic Independence celebration. It was an animated family party as the cast of Fox's hit series Family Guy walked the red carpet at the famous Dolby Theatre in Los Angeles, celebrating their 25th anniversary. The celebration concluded the first week of the Palefest 2024 with the series creator and executive producer Seth MacFarlane sharing smiles and hugs. Oscar-winning actor Jodie Foster fulfilled her childhood fantasy of cementing her hand and footprints on Hollywood Boulevard outside the iconic TCL Chinese Theatre. Foster, who was nominated this year for Best Supporting Actress for her role in the biopic Nyad, has won 2 Best Actress Oscars for The Accused and The Silence of the Lambs. Louis Vuitton debuted its newly labeled Voyager traveling show in Shanghai, showing off asymmetric hemlines and boxy leather vests in the country that is one of the brand's key markets. The show included pieces made in collaboration with Beijing-based artist Sun Yitian, who painstakingly paints photographs of inflated plastic animals, including ducklings, cats and rabbits. The internet is elated to learn that Indian actor Amitabh Bachchan will be playing Ashwatthama in director Nag Ashwin's sci-fi epic Kalki 2898 AD. The makers released its poster on Mahashivratri, where actor Prabhas's character name was revealed to be Bhairava. The film is slated for a 9th of May release. On to sports now. India's D. Gukesh has made history by becoming the youngest player ever to win Candidates Tournament. With this win, he earns the right to challenge chess world champion Ding Liren. The 17-year-old Indian Grandmaster Gukesh scored 9 points out of 14 points to clinch the first place. He is only the second Indian player after Vishwanathan Anand to win the FIDE Candidates Tournament. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hailed Gukesh's achievement and said that it showcased his extraordinary talent and dedication. Yuki Bhamri won the doubles title at Munich Open 2024 tennis tournament. Yuki and his partner Albano defeated German opponents to win the men's doubles title. Simona Halep has pulled out of the next week's Madrid Open in order to work on her fitness. The Romanian says she needs more time to get physically ready to compete at the highest level after being out of action for over 18 months now. Jude Bellingham delivered again with injury time winner in Clásico. Los Blancos extend lead at top of La Liga to 11 points after Catalans had led twice. Manchester United have progressed into the FA Cup final for the second successive season following semi-final victory over Coventry City. Liverpool climbed level on points with Arsenal at the top of the Premier League table with a 3-1 victory over Fulham. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Ryan Gravenberch and Diogo Jota score goals for Liverpool. World number 6 Casper Ruud defeated Stefanos Tsitsipas 7-5, 6-3 to win the Barcelona Open. Ruud's 91-minute victory ended a 10-match winning streak for Tsitsipas. The Indian pair of Akashdeep Singh and Priyanka Goswami earned a 2024 Paris Olympics quota for the mixed marathon race walking relay event. That's it in this edition of Express News this evening. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.